1, 2, 3, 4.
What do we owe to each other? What do we owe to ourselves? When did we stop saying brother? When did we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promised, but you gotta take the deal.
I don't need anyone, yeah, I get going and I get done. My blood runs through these roots and my daddy gave me these boots, so I'll be walking my own way. I got no need to heed no praise.
What do we owe to each other? What do we owe to ourselves? When did we stop saying brother? When did we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Reciprocity promised, but you gotta take the deal.
I live wild and I live free. The only one I trust is me. Can't rely on rain or ranger, so everyone can stay a stranger. Got me, I can barely stand. I guess I'll reach to meet the offered hand.
Rock the beat!
They say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I've been trying to do just that. I remember the winters I walked around barefoot. Tell me where you get boots at. I've been on my own as long as I've known, and it's scary as red rum. Walking a solo path, even though a lone wolf is likely a dead one. The strength of the wolf is the pack, and the pack is the power of wolves. But I'm wondering how to trust when my last bunch was made of wool. I want a seat at the table. It's a risk, but I'm willing to accept the deal. Now instead of burning, I gotta build. Bridge is stronger than steel.
What do we owe to each other? What do we owe to ourselves? When did we stop saying brother? When did we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promised, but you gotta take the deal.
Hands like leather, a smile like gold, took me in out of the cold. Had so little but shared a meal, got me thinking how I feel. We ridicule the ones who give and live with less. to help us survive, and we all thrive when we pay those debts.
What do we owe to each other? What do we owe to ourselves? When do we stop saying brother? When do we stop being well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promise, but you gotta take the deal. But you gotta take the deal.
Welcome, everyone, to Bridge City Sunday Session. My name is Bob Swanson, and Sunday Session, of course, is your weekly touch point for connection, community, and conversation. So welcome to everybody who's joining us live on YouTube, or if you happen to be joining us on the global campus, or of course, you might even be hosting a local watch party. Welcome in. And of course, I want to welcome in my pal, Mark, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. That song had me a little choked up, actually. That was really good. But yeah.
Well, one thing I should say, because I forgot to drop this in, was of course we wanted to remind everyone of Bridge City's mission. That now that you found our Sunday session, our goal, of course, is to help people connect better, build better, and live better.
Yes, and that just goes back to the values of this channel and our community to reinforce forward thinking, that we are a forward thinking and people centric community, and always life affirming. And actually, that's very much in the spirit of today's talk, which is about reciprocity. That life is not something we just receive, but it's also that we need to participate in, that we are going to affirm ourselves. We affirm ourselves in how we act. We affirm each other as people in how we act and how we live our lives. And it's a way that we can move everyone, ourselves, and the entire community forward. So I think that this is a really good, valuable message today.
Absolutely. Because of course, with any kind of community, people matter. And part of being, in the Bridge City community is that this is a space where we don't pretend to have certainty about things, but we do want to have honest conversations, honest thinking, and make intentional connections, as well as to reflect on what we learn. Everyone is welcome. There's no real pressure. And you don't even have to agree with absolutely everything in the conversation to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that if you're a first-time guest, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. Your presence here makes a difference, and we always appreciate you showing up whenever you can. So
yes, and please do blip that the QR code there that you see on the screen. That is a free gift for our guests. It's really just it's a helpful tool for navigating connection in real time. It'll get you familiar with the Bridge City campus.
And also for our current members, I'd like to extend the same kind of welcome. We always love seeing you show up every week. And just as today's talk is going to talk about participation as well, and so participation in our lives in general, not just, it's great to have you participating with us. We want more participation in this community, and just really be intentional in one's lives. So
the theme today is reciprocity. So what do you think about reciprocity?
Reciprocity. Yeah. So I think that this is trying to understand how life is. There's a lot of give and take in life, and but it's not necessarily transactional. And this is the thing. If we can't focus on the transactional, I think unfortunately there's so much of our society does in fact focus on what is transactional. Yeah. What can you do for me? Just how we build our entire financial system and stuff is all completely, everything is on transactions. So, but yeah, the idea is to create a better community, to build better, and to create growth.
Yeah, because people can feel stuck and isolated and overlooked and perhaps under-supported. And so one of the main things we'll be talking about is how to understand reciprocity in order to help us understand how life can open up through participation, contribution, and connection.
Yeah, so we wanted to ask those people who are online right now in the chat, so in what area of life do you need better reciprocity? See if
anything pops in there.
What people might come up with.
And while we're kind of waiting on that, one thing I will mention, Mark, not on the script here, but when I think reciprocity, I think Robert G. Ingersoll. And if anybody who talks to me or comes into my orbit, will hear that name a lot. He was a 19th century humanist, free thinker, but he used to say that happiness is the only good. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make others so. And I think that last part of it, the way to be happy is to make others so, is really, in my mind, a lot about reciprocity. That the more you give, the more you actually get. And that's my little.
I'll have to look up this guy. There's something about that period of time, the mid to late 1800s, where there was this new campaign of free thought and such that would not be out of place in today's society, in the modern world.
Right, yep.
And in the kind of conversation that we do today, it's really striking to me how over 100 years ago, people were just still going through the same stuff and talking about
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, hey, let's move on to the news.
So greetings, Bridge City. Great to see you. My name is Mark Russell. I am the book club leader here, as well as doing a few other little things in the community. Just looking.
Mark does a heck of a lot, so I'm glad that Mark's here. Glad that everyone's joining us today.
I did want to mention that this is Pride Month, and so I just wanted to bring that up to say that we're also here at Bridge City in thinking about celebrating Pride, figuring out how to celebrate Pride. And I was thinking about this because so many times you see these people who protest like Pride, and they are saying that it's against the Bible and stuff. But in fact, it seems like this is such a big misunderstanding, because what is being celebrated is not what they're talking about in the Bible. Biblical pride is more like that arrogant self-exaltation and contempt. It's about tearing people down to lift yourself up or something like that. And that's not what Pride Month is about. Pride Month is started in 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which was a direct response to shame that was for people just for the very fact that they existed. And the pride being celebrated is closer to like a self-respect and human dignity than to that sinful hubris. It's about refusing to internalize hatred, claiming the right to exist openly, and honoring a community's resilience. These two things share a word, but not a meaning or spirit at all. And conflating the two really misunderstands both. So
yeah, and I'll throw another Robert G. Ingersoll-ism at you, Mark. Robert G. Ingersoll he would like to say that I would claim no right for myself that I would not gladly extend to someone else. And in my mind, that's part of pride, is celebrating everyone's freedom to be their selves, to
Absolutely.
walk freely in the identity that they're comfortable with, and that we should all, no matter where you are, on the spectrum, you should celebrate that. And again, if you claim it for yourself, you should be willing to gladly extend it to someone else. So,
yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
so with that, I'd just like to invite everyone to visit our global campus. And as you can see displayed on the screen, there's a QR code. It's under construction. We have some specific areas that you can start with. There's the lobby, which is a good place to start. It has our welcome center, an event center, and the welcome center has a good starting point where you can find some little classes and sessions to learn a little bit more about Bridge City, our event center, to see what's going on in the community, and maybe just drop in and check something out. Business center to find people who are offering services. And we have a lot of other areas, so just check them out.
Yeah, as you continue to explore, you'll run across the things we call connection circles, which again gives you a chance to get oriented to the community and the campus a little bit more, as well as we have small talks, which are opportunities for members to actually kind of share some of their own expertise and their own areas of interest, which is a really cool thing. Another cool thing is watch parties. Sunday sessions are really great, but they're even better in a group. So if you can, or if it would enhance your experience, try to get some friends together to share the value that you're getting out of Sunday sessions. These are just small in-person gatherings where folks can watch Sunday sessions together. And if you happen to organize something like that, post pictures,
absolutely.
To the local campus. That'd be great.
The watch parties are a great first step to that we are trying to get more local communities and campuses, and a watch party is a good first step to get into that. So if you are curious and not quite ready to lead something, this is something large. At least this is a little small step if you'd like to do something to create some of that community.
Yes, we got local watch parties, we have movie nights, we also have clubs, and the club we wanted to spotlight today is the Deconstruction Club, which I think is really important, and part of the reason why I think communities like Bridge City are important is because a lot of folks are coming out of religion, and one of the things that religious life filled for them was a sense of community, and I see Bridge City as being kind of a safety net for people. If we have a really authentic community, a very intentional community, hopefully, as people are deconstructing and having to unravel things that they have believed to be true for a long time, that knowing that there's this safety net of other people who are willing to support them can be really, really important. So the Deconstruction Club is a place to meet like-hearted people.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was first starting, I lurked for a little while just to get a feel for what was going on. What was the sense of the community. And after I had spent a little time doing that, I was able to get more involved by just starting conversation. And it's a great place to get engaged. I think that if you just even look through some of the conversations, and you come across something of interest, it's always worth just chiming in if you feel that it's something that you'd like to talk about. And even if it's an older conversation, and people will come back and start talking again about that as well. It's great.
It's a good place for new members to kind of get a temperature of the room, perhaps.
Exactly.
And speaking of new members, we've had a good number of new folks coming to Bridge City, 20 in the last month. And so just want to, again, if you're thinking about it, the QR code there is on the screen. It's sometimes uncomfortable, or it can be a little bit scary to join a new community, especially if you've come out of a religious community. But we hope you find this to be a welcoming spot.
Yeah, but I mean, then exactly. So, like when you go to church, the way that you would meet people is like either at like the coffee hour afterwards or something like that. um, our closest equivalent is that we have our new member area where you can go in, and this is a place where you can introduce yourself, just to say hello. It's a great place to just start that step to in your introduction can be as simple or as detailed as you want it to be. You absolutely don't have to lay out your life, but you want to just get yourself into the room and start chatting. It's a great place to start.
Yeah, and just, you and I were one-time new members, and now we're volunteers. So once you get into the community and kind of get a feel for the room, then you can kind of feel for where you really fit in and where you can bring your own interests and talents. And so because heaven knows that any growing community needs volunteers. They need people who can do stuff, and in many cases, I think that actually gives you a really good sense of purpose by being able to leverage your own talents to a worthwhile cause. And so that's what we need for volunteering. It's not just to make the community look good; it's to actually help our community do good.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities and place to create to find work within the community and to be the bridge, as it were, so that you can see that vision. So, and
to help build the bridge, we also, of course, need resources, including money. So every second Tuesday of the month, which is going to be this coming Tuesday, is our Giving Tuesday. We don't have tithes in our community, but we do depend upon the support of community members to, first of all, take care of some of the basics of getting us on the stream and all that kind of stuff. But other ways of supporting the community, we're trying to set up a nonprofit status, and of course that requires some legal fees, et cetera, et cetera. So what you can contribute will go toward keeping and building the community.
We don't ask for you to give something that you don't have. Right. Nobody should be extending themselves for with things that they just don't have. I think I've been in that situation before. I have maybe been a little too generous, and you need to keep in mind where you are with yourself and what you're able to do. So sometimes if you can't give financially, though, too, as your time is always valuable as well, as far as if you want to volunteer in any capacity as well. So let's just wrap things up. Visit the Global Campus, check out a watch party, join tonight's movie night, Normal Heart. Check it out, and then join into the conversation as well. Check out our clubs. When you are on campus, welcome new members in as well. Be a participant in welcoming new people in, and choose to get involved. And when you can, support through our Giving Tuesday.
Excellent. Hey, well, it's just about to jump into the conversation, so now is the best time for you to share the stream, share our Sunday session with folks you think might be interested. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and let's now turn it over to Durante to learn about reciprocity.
Reciprocity, yeah.
Good afternoon, Bridge City. How are y'all doing today, wherever you are in the world? I'm so glad to be here with you. How are you feeling today? Hey, do me a favor really quick before we even jump anything. Take your phone out real quick. Take your phone. Look, I'm looking at you right now. I am looking at you. Take out your phone. Now listen, take out your phone, pull up Facebook, pull up Twitter, pull up Snapchat if you're still doing that, and let somebody know that your community is getting ready to have our final conversation on reciprocity. And anybody who needs a better understanding of reciprocity, they need to be in this conversation live. All right, so I've done that. Are you doing it? Like, I'm watching you. Which camera? I'm watching you. Yeah, do it. Listen, if this is your first time hanging out with us, if this is your first time in a Bridge City Sunday session, maybe you've seen me throughout the week and you're like, oh, he does a good job of deconstruction. Let me see what's going on Sundays. I want to say thank you for being here. Maybe you were invited by somebody, maybe a friend brought you in and said, hey, I want you to check this out. Trust me, it's not a cult type of thing. And you're just in here hoping nobody's going to offer you any Kool-Aid. We're so glad to have you here. And as a special thank you, we want to put a gift in your view. I want to say in your hand, but that's just not accurate. But we want to give you a gift. And so you can visit the link on the screen, bridgecity.app/guest. Visit the link on the screen, and you're going to get you a free gift. And that's just our way of saying thank you. You could have been anywhere this Sunday afternoon. You could be at Starbucks right now getting you a very expensive coffee. You could be doing that right now, but instead you're sitting here spending some time with this wonderful community getting some very valuable information. Look, congratulations, you made the right decision. Don't that feel good? Don't that feel good to be one of the people making the right decision on Sundays? Come on now. All right, and then also as you're coming in, let us know where you are watching from. I do want to call out, we have another movie night coming up next week, and next week's movie night will be God's Not Dead. Yeah, we're doing it. We're going there. All right, we're going there. We kicked off our movie night tradition watching like a Christian documentary, so this is right on brand with the type of stuff we do. Someone commented this morning in the community that they watched God's Not Dead when they were believers, and so they're really looking forward to watching it and seeing how it registers with them now that they've deconstructed. And so I'd love to see you at movie night next week. Man, oh, I love it. We got here for the first time. Love it, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all show some love to our first time visitor. And brother man, please make sure that you go get your gift. Go get your gift. Dan, I did not know you was in Ohio. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, and Monica, you've not been to a movie night. This is the one you want to be at. Then let's go watching Kevin Sorbo and God's Not Dead. Also, this has been Pride Month, and our community is, hey, we're life affirming, baby. We like life in all the shades, varieties, context, and colors and cultures that it comes in. We celebrate life, and so in honor of that, we're having a Pride Community Day this Tuesday. So check the events page on the campus. If y'all are in the chat, will somebody yank that link for me and just throw that? Just go to the event and then yank the link and then drop it in the chat so other people will know. So we're having Pride Month Community Day this Tuesday. I don't know if they've gotten any pictures on the global campus yet, but I'm sure we'll be seeing some soon. Our Saturday chapter had a meetup yesterday that I heard went very well. And so I'm really excited about that. So major shout out to all of our people in California. And listen, if you've been watching us from California, you're like, man, I'm waiting for community, then hey, make sure you join the local campus so we can get you connected with our other people in California. And while I'm talking about California, whatever state you're in, if you like these Sunday vibes, if you like what we're doing in our live sessions, if you like the conversations that we're having on community and the possibilities that it creates, you need to get connected with the global campus, man. So that way we can help you find other people in your state, in your city, in your town that you can connect with in real time, such as California did yesterday. Florida did last month. I think, don't get me the line. I don't want to be making up dates, but it was sometime. All right. And then the last thing I got for you before I jump in today, next month, we're officially starting a new series, and the name of it is Head Canon. And yes, I know what you're thinking, but no, it's not that kind of head. But no, so next month's series, next week, we're launching into a new series called Head Canon. That series will be focusing on narrative ownership, helping people recognize that many of the stories shaping their identity, especially religious ones, are inherited headcanons rather than just objective truths, and that reclaiming authorship over one's life is a critical step in post-religious reconstruction. And a major part of this will also just be reclaiming these stories. These are our stories. I think that's week one. This is my story. This for you old people. This is my story. This is my song. All right. So let's jump into it. We've been in Reciprocity for 3 weeks now, y'all, and this has been amazing. Let us know in the chat, what have you thought about this series? What has stood out for you? What has been, as Ashley would say, what has been a light bulb moment for you? I am very curious. This one has been good. This one has been good. So we're officially concluding our Reciprocity series, and throughout the entire month of June, we've been focused on the idea that life is not something you passively receive, but something you actively co-create through reciprocal engagement. What you invest in relationships, community, and even personal growth directly shapes what you experience in return. This has been one of those series that I would highly encourage you, and I mean highly encourage you to catch all 4 sessions. Go back, watch number 1, then watch number 2, and then watch number 1 again, and then come back and watch number 2, and then go for number 3, and then go for number 4, which is today, and then just go back and do it again. No, this is one of those series that I highly encourage you to catch all 4 sessions, because they've been packed with some transformative information. So let's get into this. The highest form of reciprocity is not just one person helping another person. Yes, it is building systems that keep giving back after the moment is past. Okay? The highest form of reciprocity is not just one person helping another person. It is building systems that keep giving back after the moment is past. Healthy communities become containers of shared support, memory, wisdom, accountability, and one of my favorites, opportunity. Like, opportunity lives where we have shared support, where we have shared memory. A major through line of this series has been that reciprocity isn't spiritual. It isn't spiritual magic. It is social mechanics. It isn't expectations. It's ecology. Healthy reciprocity is the byproduct of healthy relationships and systematic development to sustain those relationships. I'm talking heavy, but I promise you this is good. We've spent 3 weeks so far reorienting our understanding of reciprocity in full recognition that many of us were shaped by expectation without being properly introduced to responsibility. Because here's a truism that doesn't often get platformed. In order to see myself as part of the solution, I must first be willing to see myself as part of the problem. I want you to sit in that. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it don't make you feel good, but let's sit in it. Let's sit in it. This is a truism. It doesn't often get platformed. In order to see myself as a part of the solution, I must be first willing to see myself as part of the problem. My silence could be participation with a broken system. That makes me part of the problem. You see what I'm saying? No, y'all got to talk to me a little bit. Y'all got to talk to me a little bit. My absence could be participation with a broken system. That could be my part in the problem. My lack of intentional understanding, showing up to a gunfight with a knife. My lack of intentional understanding could be participation with the broken system. That was literally what I had to wrestle with my weight. Okay. I was over 580 pounds. I was a big brother, but I didn't get there. I didn't get there accidentally, but I treated it like it was an accident. Like, I don't know how I'm getting this big. I don't know where all of this weight is coming from. But the truth of the matter is, I had not yet even tried to gain an intentional understanding of how my body works, why I eat, when I eat. Y'all don't want to talk to me. No, my unintentional understanding, my lack of intentional understanding was participating in the thing that kept me overweight. In order to see myself as part of the solution, I first got to be willing to see myself as part of the problem. That don't mean that I have to be, what did we say last week? It doesn't mean that it's my fault, but it does mean that it's my fight. Okay, y'all gonna make me work harder than I have to today. Y'all better pay me for all of this work. Y'all better. Okay. So week 1 was life is much more than input output. Life is not a vending machine. There are mechanics that must be maintained and managed. This is not magic. Okay. This is not magic, man. Week 2 was a reminder that what is often showing up the strongest is what is being fed the most. What you feed is what grows. It was a challenge to review what we're feeding and what we're starving. Week 3 was there is no such thing as a free lunch. That's why I said there's no free energy. If you want to eat, it's a necessity for you to learn the language of boundaries, friction, participation, and trust. And so now that we have a better understanding, we can get down to the nitty-gritty, the work of making reciprocity healthy again. Did I just come up with a presidential slogan? Make reciprocity healthy again. Maraha. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, does it? But make reciprocity healthy again. So week 4 is not just how to get more out of life, but how do we build a life that gives more back? Okay. So as a way to really make this point, I want to make a pit stop and explore why we build before we get to how we build. Okay. No, before we get to how we build, I want to talk about why we build. And y'all know this is one of the reasons why you like coming to Bridge City, because we're not just going to throw metaphors and anecdotes at you. We like to pull through the disciplines of different sciences, the different disciplines of education, to kind of make some stuff make sense. And even to do what I do, which is what I call a humanist practice. What I do is my applied humanism. That's what it is. What I do has to be rooted not just in my rejection of religion, but it has to be rooted in my understanding of sociology, anthropology. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Narrative theory, hermeneutics, the ability to communicate and interpret it in a way that other people can understand. This thing has been going on for a very, very long time. All right, I'm just talking. But so I want to pull some of this a little bit. So though I feel that I've done a decent job, a succinct job in weeks 1 through 3, I really want to hit the core of this so we can jump in this week's discussion. And so I brought a question with me that I wanted to kind of start this thing off. This is just a question that I started off in my notes. This is a part of my introduction. Why did humans start building houses? Because before we get to how we build, before we get to how we build, I want to deal with why we build, because so many times we just we don't hold things the right way. You know, you got to get what I'm saying. Like, we don't sit with things long enough. We take things for granted. No, why did humans start building houses? So I went down my Google rabbit trail yesterday. I did. Yes, I did. And this is what I found out. Humans started building houses because survival got easier when we could control our environment instead of constantly reacting to it. Now, if this was an old Baptist or Pentecostal church, I could just close the book and walk out right there, because that's better preaching than anything else I can say. Humans started building houses because survival got easier when we could control our environment instead of constantly reacting to it. Y'all, am I in the wrong place today? Because y'all should be just like cutting up like right now, because that right there is the whole word. Durante, why are you obsessed with building community? Durante started building community because survival got easier when we could control our environment instead of constantly reacting to it. Oh my goodness. Come on now. We originally built houses to protect ourselves from harsh weather and predators. I just want to now just turn this whole section into a series of its own. Like, we need like a construction series, a building series, because no, we're building so we can control our environment. Okay. We're building so we can control our environment instead of constantly reacting to it. But we're also building to protect ourselves from the harsh weather, from the consequences of just being alive in this volatile environment, and predators, people who would take advantage. This is us transitioning from nomadic hunting to permanent settlements. There's so much I want to say with that. So at the simplest level, I'm still in my introduction, so I'm gonna try not to. I want to get deep right here. I do, but I'm gonna try not to. At the simplest level, building houses solved several problems at once. Protection from the weather. Before houses, people used caves, trees, temporary shelters, animal hides, and natural cover. But once humans moved into colder, hotter, wetter, or more exposed environments, built shelters helped protect against rain, wind, snow, heat, and sun. The question I want to kind of ask you is, what are you building? No, if you're feeling hyper exposed to the elements of life, if you're feeling tossed to and fro by every wind of which way, then my question is, what are you building? Another thing was protection from animals and other humans. A shelter created a safer sleeping space, a place where I can actually get some rest. Even a simple hut, well-raised platform, or enclosure made it harder for predators, insects, snakes, or rival groups to reach people. So listen now, the question and we're still in the introduction. The question I'm saying, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of by animals and other people, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of by life, if you feel like you're in a place where you can't get rest, you can't sleep because so many things are taking advantage of you, my question is, what are you building? Because this is reciprocity. This is what we're talking about here. It's a place to store food and tools. Once humans started gathering more food, hunting in groups, making tools, and eventually farming, they needed places to keep things dry, safe, and organized. Storage is a huge reason permanent homes became more important. Last week, we talked about how important boundaries were for reciprocity, because if there is no boundaries, then your stuff is just kind of flowing and leaking everywhere. Ooh, all right, we're going. Here's another one: raising children and caring for family. Human babies are vulnerable for a long time. Yes, they are. They cannot fall out of trees like baby squirrels can. They cannot. Don't try it. A stable shelter made it easier to protect children, care for elders, prepare food, rest, and maintain social bonds. The question is, what are you building? Fire, cooking, and warmth. A home gave people a place to maintain fire, cook food, stay warm, dry materials, and gather socially. And then the last one, farming changed the game. For most of early human history, people were mobile hunter-gatherers, so their shelters were often temporary. But when agriculture developed, oh, I wish I was sitting right in the room with you right now. When agriculture developed, when did humans start building? When agriculture developed, people began staying near fields, water sources, and stored crops. That made permanent houses more useful. Okay, so the big answer is humans started building houses because shelter allowed us to survive better, protect our families, store resources, build community, and eventually settle into more permanent ways of life, or more preservable or more sustainable ways of life. In a deeper sense, the house is one of the first human technologies for saying the world is dangerous and unpredictable, so we're going to create a small controlled space where life can continue. And what have I been saying throughout this entire series? Reciprocity isn't about scorekeeping, it's about circulation. It's not about getting your lick back, it's about keeping life moving. And we see this even connected with our own civilizational development, that we start building homes. Why? As a way to keep life moving. So the single biggest catalyst for building houses was the invention of agriculture. When humans figured out how to domesticate plants like wheat and barley, and animals like sheep and cattle, everything changed. Okay? Building homes represented a shift in humanity, from reacting to our environment to learning how to manage it. And a major motivation behind this shift was learning how life worked around us. I'm going to say it one more time. A major motivation in this shift was learning how life, damn it, worked around us. We moved from constant reaction. Yes, we moved from constant reaction to environmental management. Reciprocity, my friends, is a product of management. Return has to be defended, not demanded. You could stand outside and say, get here and get here and get here all you want, but what defense system, which is what the home was. The home was a defense system, come on now, against the complexity of life. The home was a defense system against the chaos of the outside. So the question that I'm asking everybody is, what are you building to defend yourself? What are you building to protect your stuff? What are you building to give you peace? What are you building that gives you rest? See, we're talking. Reciprocity is a product of management. When we begin to learn how to manage the environment, we started to learn how to manage ourselves. Return has to be defended, not demanded. We demand peace from unmanaged habits. We demand clarity from overstimulated minds. We demand energy from neglected bodies. We demand intimacy from unmaintained relationships. We demand belonging from communities we barely participate in. We demand opportunity from skills and networks we've not developed. And we demand support from systems we've not helped strengthen. But return has to be defended, not demanded. Going back to last week, you need them boundaries. You need that friction. You need that participation. So to go ahead and let you know what we're talking about today, if you didn't see the title, today I am challenging all of us, myself included, to build what can give back. That's the challenge. Listen, if you're not too bougie, if you're not too stuck up, if you're not too high and mighty, go ahead and tag somebody in the chat and encourage them and say, build what can give back. I mean, if you're going to be building anyway, shouldn't you be building things that have the capacity to give you something back? We started building houses because it helped us keep our food. We started building houses because it helped us maintain our sanity. What I want to ask anybody is, whatever you're building, how is it helping you? Whatever you're spending your energy on, your time on, your money on, how is it helping you? If you're going to be building, if you're going to be participating, if you're going to be contributing, contribute to things that can actually give back. Sit down, come on now, call a meeting, sit down, have a master plan. Listen, I really want to help y'all. Y'all seem nice. I kind of want to be a part of what y'all doing, but I just need to know, if I scratch your back, baby, what happens when my back start itching? Which part of the plan actually reaches me? Which part of the vision, which part of the mission considers me and my life? What do I have to do to be considered? What I need from you is understanding. Okay, listen, build what can give back. Now, if I'm going to be building, I want to build some things that are actually going to give back to my life. So weeks 1 through 3 was all about getting an understanding. Getting an understanding was about connecting better. But this is the build better week, okay? This is the reciprocity is about what we can build. The goal is not to get more by extracting harder. That's why we don't do magic here. We don't do superstition. We don't do supernaturalism. I'm not going to beat you up for it. We wouldn't let you promote it here, like on the platform, but we don't do magic here. So I'm not going to tell you that if you just pray a certain prayer, reciprocity will kick in. I'm not going to tell you that if you just get the right mindset and start thinking positively, that reciprocity will kick in. I'm not going to tell you that if you meditate and get your vibrations on the right frequency, that reciprocity will kick in. I want you to understand the mechanics of how things work. Okay? All right? Because I don't want you or any of us being like the person at the vending machine, shaking it, trying to make it do what you don't when you don't understand how it operates. Okay? So the goal is not to get more out of life by extracting harder. The goal is to build systems of life that are healthy enough, honest enough, mutual enough, and maintained enough to give life back. Okay? If you want life to give more back, you have to stop only asking what you can get out of life and start asking what kind of life are you building for return. Extractive living says, how do I get more out of this? How do I get more money? How do I get more fame? How do I get more of what I want? How do I get more time to play video games? You know, how can I get more out of this? Reciprocal living asks, how do I build so that so it can give back? Because getting more out of life can sound like squeezing life harder, but the actual move is designing life better. So that's a different conversation, isn't it? No, we're talking about designing life. Which, yeah, okay. Build your life in such a way that life has something to return through. I'm not saying this is an overnight quick fix. I'm saying this has to be your commitment. Some people don't make this commitment till they get into their 40s. So you still got time. But build your life in such a way that life has something to return through. Sometimes you got to, oh, this is going to be hard. This is probably going to piss a few people off. But sometimes you got to do a friend check and just say, I'm going to give life a little agency just for the sake of this insert. But sometimes you got to do a little friend check and just say, if life was trying to get to me, which one of my friends would it be able to flow through? And which one of these is a life blocker? Oh, yeah. No, if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing and my system is working and life, just for the sake of this conversation, if life was trying to get something to me, through which of my friends could it come through? And through which of my friends would likely block it? Build your life in such a way that life has something to return through. Building a life that gives back starts with aligning your daily habits and resources with the life you care about. See, what you're getting today is you're getting permission to reclaim your agency back in your own life. I'm letting you today. I'm telling you, you can choose your seat. Now the problem is when you choose your seat, you have to sign up for the blueprint. Here we go. So I think week 4 needs a new term. So I want to introduce something to you. Return capacity. Because this is what we're talking about. Return capacity refers to the maximum volume, weight, or energy a system can take back or process. A system has return capacity when it has been built, fed, protected, and maintained well enough to give value. I love Bridge City. I love everything that we do. I love how our community is growing. We are not at return capacity yet. That's what we're working on. That's what we're trying to get to. So you know what my job is? My job is to build, to feed, to protect, and maintain this community as much as I can to get it healthy enough to do some return value. Y'all don't want to talk to me out here. Your body has return capacity when it has enough nourishment, rest, movement, and care to return energy. Your mind has return capacity when it has enough challenge, reflection, learning, and quiet to return clarity. Your relationships have return capacity when they have enough honesty, mutuality, repair, and presence to return support. Your work has return capacity when your skills, compensation, contribution, and purpose are aligned enough to return provision and meaning. I hope this is helping somebody right now. Your community, come here, Bridge City, has return capacity when enough people participate with enough trust, rhythm, structure, and responsibility to return belonging and opportunity. Your giving has return capacity when your money flows into systems that actually have you, your values, and your future in mind. So let's talk about how to build. We're going to start right here, and I'm going to flow building with your attention. Oh yeah, we're going to see, look, we're going to start, and we're going to flow. Now I got to go. How much of what I am paying attention to is paying attention to me? How much of the things that I'm paying attention to are actually paying attention to me? This is what it means to build with your attention. What am I getting in exchange for my attention? And I'm not just talking about what I'm extracting. I'm asking, how am I being affected? Attention is investment. See, this is real. In a YouTube economy, we should know that. Everybody who gives me a little bit of attention, you're investing in me. And I thank you for it. I'm grateful for it. I'm humbled by it. But for those of you that are watching right now, that's your investment. For those of you that watch my Monday through Friday content, you're investing in it. Even the people who like to troll my content, like, believers, they get butthurt and they like to troll sometimes. Hey, atheists, they get butthurt too, and they like to troll sometimes. But even the people who troll my content are investing in me, because attention is investment. What I used to say in show business, there is it's all good publicity. There's no bad publicity. Attention is investment. Selective attention research treats attention as the mechanism that filters, prioritizes, and modulates what information becomes available for action, learning, memory, and decision-making. Because when I attend to one thing, I'm not just looking at it, I am allocating limited cognitive capacity to it, So the question is not only what has my attention, the question is, what is my attention building in me? Is this feeding my ecology, or is it draining it? Is this making me clearer, more connected, more capable, more compassionate, more informed? Is it making me more alive in any way, shape, form, or fashion? Or is it making me more reactive, more anxious, more distracted, more resentful, more overwhelmed, and most importantly, less able to build? Rumination research shows that repeatedly focusing attention on distress can worsen depression, increase negative thinking, impair problem solving, interfere with action, and erode social support. I want you to think about that, because these are the small ways that what you're giving attention might be interfering, interrupting, intervening with your cycle of reciprocity in your life. Because if I'm focused on things that are negative, if I'm focused repeatedly on what's going wrong in the world, if I'm focused, like, why are you so shocked? I think the people who should not be shocked, believers, have a right to be shocked. They believe in a wizard. They believe in a genie who is controlling everything. For atheists to be shocked at the depravity of humanity is disingenuous. What the hell do you expect? They're primates. No. Repeatedly focusing attention on distress can worsen depression. I had to realize that with myself at one point when I was going through my Black nationalist phase, and I was like, bruh, you is depressing yourself. You is exacerbating or exasperating your own issue. You are feeding yourself poison and calling it necessary. Repeatedly focusing attention on distress can worsen depression, increase negative thinking, impair problem solving, which means now every time you see something, you see the negative. You see the negative. You see what's wrong. I hope this is helping somebody. And this erodes social support, because then how can you build with people if you're always diagnosing what's wrong with them? So that's when we become no different than the church world. Okay, let's keep going. Doom scrolling research fits this as well. Recent studies have connected doom scrolling with anxiety, intolerance of uncertainty. What you mean you not sure? No, there's only one way to see this. There is one clear side. Intolerance of uncertainty, lower psychological resilience. So instead of communicating clearly, now I'm appealing to to my emotional sense of security, which is created by this existential anxiety. What I attend to does not merely inform me, it can train my nervous system in what to expect from the world. Dang, there's some good stuff today. Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory argues that positive emotions can broaden attention and thought action repertoires, helping people build lasting personal resources. But by contrast, threat-heavy emotional states can narrow what people see, imagine, or even believe is possible. And yes, as much as I want to call out the harm that's in the world, I do. And as much as I want to deconstruct that harm, I do. I also want a world where people are looking for the possibilities of how we can make it better. This doesn't mean only pay attention to positive things. It means emotional, attentional environments matter. Threat-heavy, outrage-heavy, shame-heavy environments can narrow perception. Environments that cultivate curiosity, connection, hope, interest, meaning, and constructive challenge can expand what people see as possible. Not everything asking for my attention has my development, my clarity, my health, or my humanity in mind. Attention is not passive. It's one of the ways the environment gets inside of us. See, I don't know if you living in your environment or drowning in your environment. Let's say that again. Are you living in your environment, or are you drowning in your environment? See, if you're living in it, you're in it. If you're drowning in it, it's in you. Y'all will get that later. So the question is not just what am I watching or what am I reading? The question is, what is this building in me? How am I using my attention to shape who I want to be? How am I using my attention to show up in the world? How am I using my attention to promote the things that I want to see in the world? See, that's what build what can give back. Your attention is not free. Whatever holds your attention is not only taking time from you, it is training something in you. Let's go to number 2, building with your voice. How much of what I'm saying on a daily basis is committed to edifying things that I benefit from? I kind of call this the social influence theory. Sometimes the things you love don't get the love they deserve because you don't love them out loud. Woo, I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes the things you love don't get the love they deserve because you don't say it out loud. You don't love it out loud. You don't let other people know. You got to build with your voice too. How much of what I'm saying on a daily basis is committed to edifying the things that I benefit from? Somebody told me one time, Durante, you talk way too much about Bridge City. I benefit from Bridge City. Bridge City helps to restore my faith in humanity. Bridge City helps remind me that there are still good people in the world. Bridge City reminds me that everybody's not here to argue. Bridge City reminds me that there are people who can exist in a room with other people who are different from them and still be able to respect them. Bridge City, it gives me reason to hope. Why would I not talk about it? I'm going to talk about it every chance I get because it is something that I benefit from. Sometimes the things you love don't get the love they deserve because you do not love them out loud. That will not be the case for me in Bridge City. People going to know that I love Bridge City. Are my conversations invested in the upbuilding of my ecology, is what I'm trying to say. Your daily language either builds or pollutes your ecology. Your daily language either builds or pollutes your ecology. So the question is not just what am I saying? The question is, what is my voice helping build? Who knows about the things that I love because of me? Who knows about the organizations, the causes, the businesses that I love because of my voice? Which of my favorite restaurants is getting new customers because of my voice? This is talking about building what can give back now. It's talking about building what can give back. Sometimes I kick myself because I have a bad habit of saying, like, if I have a bad experience, I never follow through on it, but I always, like, if I got a bad habit of, as soon as I have a bad experience, like, I'm gonna leave a negative review. I'm gonna leave a negative review. I never do it because I'm just not that invested, you know? But I'll still kick myself about it because then I'll be like, you know what, Durante? I hear that thought come out your mind more than I hear the thought of, I'm going to tell somebody about an experience I really enjoyed. I'm going to enjoy. I like that. I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to talk. I'm going to lend my voice to something that I love. We're so quick to talk about when things go wrong, but how do you use your voice to elevate when things go right? That's like, I love seeing posts like, yeah, I get it. We don't praise gods over here, but please, can we praise people? That is fine, isn't it? Isn't that fine? You know? So am I using my voice to name what matters? Am I asking for what I need? Am I repairing what is broken? Am I strengthening what I value? Am I giving language, attention, legitimacy, and social energy to the people, programs, organizations, and systems that are helping me build for the people that are in my life? Y'all talk to me. Am I loving them out loud? Am I using my voice to love them? Are you building with your voice? The next time you get into a rut and you begin to feel like, man, I don't feel like people are loving me the way that I really want to be loved, I challenge you to pick somebody in your life that you love. The moment you feel that way, pick somebody in your life that you love and then ask them, how am I not loving you? Because I know if I'm feeling this way, then you, likely as another human being, are wrestling with this feeling too. And so if I want to be a part of the solution, I must first be willing to look at myself as a possible part of the problem. And so maybe the reason I'm not experiencing what I want from you, are y'all talking? Sometimes the things that you love don't get the love that they deserve because you do not love them out loud. That needs to be on the t-shirt or something. Ooh. Am I using my voice to name what matters? Am I strengthening what I value? Am I giving language, attention, legitimacy, and social energy to systems that are helping build me? Research on organizational communication says employee voice, psychological safety, and social norm change all points in the same direction. Speech is not just expression. Speech is a building material. Communities, teams, organizations, and movements are sustained by what people are willing to name, ask, challenge, affirm, repeat, and organize around. And many times, people do not have permission to name their discomfort. You've just been told to get over it. Or you've just been told, well, everybody go through that. See, the field of communicative constitution of organizations, often shortened to CCO, is built around the idea that organizations and communities are not just things that exist and then people talk inside them. We're talking about building with your voice here. They're sustained, maintained, and transformed through communication. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They are, in other words, communication is not just commentary on the system. Communication is part of how the system becomes real. The world I want to live in has to be spoken into shared practice, not magically spoken into existed, not manifested, masterminded. Has to be socially constructed through naming, through inviting, through correcting, through teaching, through organizing, through affirming, through challenging and repeating what matters. Bridge City is actively doing this. We're changing the lexicon of humanity. Research on social norm change shows that norms do not shift only because individuals privately believe something different. They shift when new language, conventions, behaviors, and expectations become visible, repeated, and socially reinforced. Socially reinforced. What we keep saying out loud becomes easier for a community to recognize, repeat, and organize around. Connect better, build better, live better. Forward thinking, people centric, life affirming. This is us building with our voice. Okay. What we keep saying out loud, it becomes easier for other people to recognize. So if the world I want is more honest, more humanist, more accountable, more compassionate, more curious, more non-superstitious, and more people-centered, then my voice matters because norms need public reinforcement. You see that? My voice matters because norms need public reinforcement. It's going to be weird until I say it too. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yeah. It's going to be weird until you say it too. Okay. I'm about to go back to an old CRASP example. It's CRASP. I don't know how I say it. It's a white folks word. You get it. But I'm going to go back to this old CRASP example. But it works. Okay. Booty eating. When I was a kid, that was not a thing that you said you called somebody. You didn't call nobody no booty eater. It was going to be a fight. You did not invite anybody to eat your booty. Those were fighting words. But somewhere in the 2000s, booty was put on the menu. Okay? It showed up in the songs. It showed up in the movies. I remember hearing it on the T-Pain song, and I was like, what in the world is going on? But then all of a sudden, because there's language for it now, people are talking about it. They're talking about it in a positive way, I'm guessing. They're talking about it in a positive way. And now something that used to be fighting words has completely become normalized as something that is on the menu because people use their voices. Now, you use your voice. If you're tired of it being weird, use your voice. Talk about it more. Talk about it more. Use your voice. Be the person in the group when everybody else is negative. Be the person that works a little harder to find the bright line, the silver lining. Be the weird person every now and then. Building with our voices is not just about correcting what is broken. It's so funny. We always want to use our voices in constructive ways that don't construct. Most times when I hear the phrase, this is just constructive criticism, there's no construction to it. Come help y'all. Oh, let's go here. No, most times when I hear the phrase like, this is just some constructive criticism, it's just preference. It's just bias. It's just, this is what I like. There's no really construction to it. Construction builds. Construction builds. Okay. So a lot of times we be trying to be constructive without being edifying. And I'm like, how you do that? No. So building with my voice is not just constructive in the sense that I'm finding things to be critical of. We're talking about building with your voice in an uplifting way. What are you edifying with your words? Organizations, programs, communities, and movements do not grow only because people complain accurately about what is wrong. They grow because people publicly name, affirm, share, celebrate, invite, and reinforce what is worth building. Edifying voice helps a community notice what is working, what is worth repeating, what is worth protecting, what is worth joining, what is worth funding, what is worth trusting, and what is worth building. If all my voice does is diagnose dysfunction, I may become a skilled critic of the world I do not want while failing to give language and attention to the world I am trying to build. This is so good. Your voice gives social oxygen to what you name. If you only name what is broken, brokenness gets the majority of the room. But when you use your voice to affirm what is building you, you help build attention. You help direct attention. You help direct trust, participation, and resources towards systems, what's the word? With return capacity. I'm using my voice. And listen again. And I wanted to start here because so many times when we think about reciprocity, we only think about the things we can financially do. And I'm like, for many people, that's a trap. If you already know you limited financially, let's not start there. You know, like some people, when they think about like, how can I help my community? They go to someday. Well, someday when I'm out of this financial rut, no. Listen, hear me well. Forget your finances for now. I mean, don't forget them. Take care of that. But there are more ways to help than just putting money in a plate. Your attention is valuable. Your voice is valuable. Some of you think that like, man, I can't turn my life around because I don't have the right job or I don't have the right opportunities. But I'm listening. Listen to me. You're like, I don't have the right resources. I don't have the right car. I don't have the right man. Yeah, listen to me. I get it. And I'm not going to say anything to you to undercut that. I'm not going to say anything to you that tells you that there's a shortcut to get out of that. But I will tell you this. You may not be able to control how much you make, but you can control what you pay attention to and what you use your voice to support. Ooh. A system cannot receive attention from a silence. If something is building you and you never speak of it, you're benefiting from a system while withholding one of the resources that helps it keep giving back, and that's visibility. That's visibility. If your voice never edifies what builds you, then what builds you has to survive without the attention your voice could have given it. That's value. Your voice is not just how you express yourself. Your voice is how you participate in the construction of the world you want to live in. The old African-American anthem that was voted on at one time, I think by the NAACP, was "Lift every voice and sing." You know, every question you ask, value. Every question you ask, every value you name, every invitation you extend, every concern you raise, every truth you repeat, and every good thing you affirm helps build the ecology around you. Everything. A word does not become more honest. A world does not become more honest, more humane, accountable, or life-affirming by private agreement alone. Somebody has to give that world a voice. And that somebody is us. Let's go to point number 3. Building with your learning. How much of the information I'm consuming is intended to empower me to build better in the areas that I'm trying to make impact? And this is a good place to ask, are there any areas that I'm trying to make impact? And then if that answer is no, sit with that. And just figure out how you really feel about that. If you ask yourself, is there any areas that I'm trying to make some type of positive impact? And the answer is no. I'd love for you to sit down with yourself and ask yourself why. Just like 5 times, just why? But then why? But then why? But then why? Just do that for me. Okay. But what areas are you trying to make impact? What am I trying to impact? What am I trying to build? What am I trying to become capable of? This is what should be attached to my learning. Is my learning aligned with that direction? Or am I consuming information to feel informed while avoiding development? Am I assuming information just for entertainment value? Consuming information just to feel better about the moment? Am I consuming information just to have something to laugh at? Am I consuming Listen, this is talking about building with your learning. Your learning should be aligned with your leaning. Whatever you're leaning towards in life, whatever you're leaning towards accomplishing, whatever you're leaning towards building, whatever causes you're leaning towards supporting, your learning should be aligned with your leaning. It never ceases to amaze me the amount of people that are supporting causes that they refuse to do any learning about. Learning gives back when it's connected to what I am trying to build. It gives back when knowledge can transfer into action, judgment, problem solving, contribution, and capacity. So we have to stop treating learning like content intake and start treating it like developmental alignment. Cohen and Leventhal's concept of absorptive capacity argues that the ability to recognize, assimilate, and apply external knowledge is critical to innovation, and that this ability depends heavily on prior related knowledge, which I kind of talked about this a little bit in a previous live that I did on a Wednesday when I talked about how our thoughts are formed, and I talked about many of the misunderstandings of how we learn and why some people think that they are bad learners. And it's like, you're not bad learners. You don't have enough pre-existing information on the subject to have a resonation with the subject. Okay, I hope I'm helping somebody. Which means ultimately this is fixable. We just have to start at an earlier point in the data for you. We can't start at chapter 15 for you. We got to go back to chapter 1. See, this matters. In other words, I can only use new information well when I've built enough background knowledge to recognize its value and apply it. This is how YouTube guru scams work. They take a subject that you don't know anything about and then tell you, if you just know this limited amount of information and you buy my course to get this limited amount of information, that's going to be enough for you to be able to make all of these things happen. And the problem is you're not connecting your learning to your leaning. I'm leaning towards this, but I'm not really learning about this. I'm just believing what somebody is saying. This matters personally and it matters communally, because a system gives back more when its people are learning in ways the system can absorb, apply, and turn into better practice. Here, real quick call out to all of my leaders, all of our leaders, all of the leaders of Bridge City, everybody who wants to be a leader in Bridge City. I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for you. What are you learning that's in alignment with where you're leading? Who do you know that does what you're doing and that does it well? What book have you added to your library because of the role that you now fulfill? What podcast have you now said, ooh, let me intercept this? Have you ever got promoted at a job or got a new role at a job and then it was like, you know what, dang, I'm in it and I'm in above my head? And then you're in it for 6 months and you're still in it above your head. Can I tell you what you did wrong? You did not update your learning for your new earnings. Come on now, books, not book. I love it. I love it. No, a system gives back when people are learning in ways the system can absorb, apply, and turn into better practice. What am I willing to learn so that I can better lead? Ooh, come on. I didn't mean to go in a leadership conference real quick, but what am I willing to learn so that I can better lead? So the question is not, it's not just am I learning? The question is my learning increasing my capacity to build, participate, solve, repair, lead, create, or contribute in areas that I am trying to make impact? Like, all of us are learning. Everybody right now is learning something. You are learning every day of your life. Every time you leave your house, you are learning. When you're on your job, you are learning. The question becomes, how much of what you are learning is committed to your future? The question becomes, how much of what you are learning is committed to help you become better in ways that you want to be better? You can turn Real Housewives of Atlanta off every now and then and substitute it for something else that says, I need something in my life that's going to help me be a better version of me. You got to, this is so important because it's your information diet. Whatever it is, pick an area in your life that you're not satisfied in. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe it's your work ethic. Maybe it's your relationships. Whatever it is, pick an area in your life that you're not satisfied with and ask yourself, how am I seeking help in this area? How am I seeking education in this area? How am I seeking to learn more about this area? It could be your finances. Don't be struggling your whole life financially and never pick up a book on financial literacy. What am I struggling with? If you believe a lot of lies, like, look, I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to call you out. Not me. These hands? No, I'm not going to call you out. But if you know you keep getting got by scam after scam after scam, you need to start building in ways that can give back. Which means now let me learn things that helps protect me from predators. And I mean, how to catch a predator is probably not going to do it, but maybe critical thinking. Let's move on to the next one. Building with your talents. Building with your talents. What are you doing with your talents? You know, this ain't in my notes, but this just came to me because this was a real struggle that I had. I come from a creative community. And again, not talking about the Black community here. I'm talking about where I come from personally as an individual. I have a very creative background. I enjoy creating music. I enjoy creating productions. I enjoy writing plays. I enjoy acting in plays. I enjoy musicals. This is perhaps why I was such a talented preacher. But this is me talking. I got really, like, what's the word? Disenfranchised with the creative community where I was from, because my connection to creativity isn't about expression. I know a lot of creatives that for them, it's about expression. And that was my problem. I was coming across way too many people where it was just about expression. And expression is beautiful. I'm not trying to down anybody on expression. I'm talking about me. I'm telling my story. You can tell your story next week. But my creativity isn't just about expression. It's about elevation. It's about edification. No, it's about empowerment. It's about encouragement. Come on now, y'all. Let me find another E word. It's about excitement. Let me find one more E word. It's about energizing people. If I can just find one more word, it's about evoking people. You know, if I can just find one more word, it's about effervescence. No, evanescence. No, let's keep going. It's about lifting up. And I remember talking to a few of my friends at one point, and I was like, man, you can still do what you're doing as far as the art that you're creating. You can still make that art. But why not at least once a quarter team up with your other art friends? Because we got like a whole collective down here, and do something together that's not just to promote your headcanon of a story, but is actually designed with the people in mind who live in the community. So we're just going to get together and we're going to lift them up. Now, I'm not pulling this stuff out of my behind. This is exactly what artists used to do. And so I found that a lot of creatives want people to support their expression when their expression doesn't support the elevation of people. I'm preaching better than y'all responding. Building with your talents. Y'all are too funny. Building with your talents. How am I using my skills, my passions, and my unique gifts to contribute to systems, programs, or organizations that either currently build me or are trying to operate in ways that build me? No, how am I doing that? I computer program. I'm not the best in the world at it. I taught myself back in 2017, 3 years after deconstructing. And I taught myself just to kind of figure out if I could. This is a moment in my life where I was coming to terms with like, oh, snap, Durante, there's a lot of things you didn't try. And so let's try computer programming. So I taught myself computer programming. And then I started teaching other people. I started teaching my kids. I would go to the local Boys and Girls Club and offer my services there, which they would not accept. Now you go in and you say, hey, I'm going to teach the kids how to play basketball. Come on in. You say, hey, I'm going to teach them how to program computers. I'm going to teach them how to code. I'm going to teach them how to build websites. I'm going to teach them how to build web apps. Oh, no, we don't want nobody doing that. The question is, how are you using your talents to contribute to systems that operate in ways that are trying to build you? And this is not just about Bridge City. There are organizations out there that have your specific identity in mind. There are organizations out there that have your specific need in mind. They could likely benefit from some of your talent. I know Bridge City can. I said it wasn't about Bridge City, but hey, we're always taking talent where we can get it. It's like, no, where are my skills currently going? I don't want to make anybody feel bad for gaming and stuff. Like, gaming is fun. I wish I had more time to do gaming myself. But I'm like, so all of your talent just going to the games though? Like, we can't find a way to make none of that strategically available to helping other people? Well, how can I do it? I don't know. Maybe hosting something, doing something for other people. It's finding ways. Get creative. Where are my skills going? Are they only helping extractive systems profit from me? Are they being hidden because I'm waiting for perfection? Are they contributing to systems, programs, communities, or organizations where value can circulate back? Not the N64. Dang. Talents give back when they're placed inside systems that can circulate value. A gift gives back when it's planted in a system that knows how to grow with it. I think, and I could be overreaching, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think the people who are starting to plug their talents into Bridge City are getting immense value out of that. And that circulation process is just starting. And when I talk about value here, I'm talking about these little things that help us feel a little more human. These things that help us feel, I know people aren't going to like this word, but I'm going to use it because it's a real feeling, but it's those things that help us feel a little bit more useful. I think sometimes you forget just how valuable your value is. I think sometimes you forget, like, your talent is uniquely yours. And yes, there may be somebody else who's 10 times better at it than you. I mean, that's just likely the reality. There's always somebody better than anybody, but it's you bringing something to the table that only you can in a way that you can. And sometimes doing that and then just having other people appreciate you for doing it, it does something for you. Damn, y'all like that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to do it again? You know that feeling. Y'all really like that song? Let me sing it. I'm gonna sing it again for y'all, because all of a sudden you get reminded that, damn, I do count. I do matter. I don't have to be the best thing since sliced bread to be loved, to be valued, to be appreciated, to be affirmed. And that makes you want to do it more. You know? That's one of the ways you can pay yourself. Jalapeno. All right. So research and reporting around civic participation continue to show that clubs, groups, and community activity can help rebuild belonging and social connection. And listen, y'all, we're in a loneliness epidemic. This is one of the reasons why Bridge City is so important. We're intentionally trying to recreate those third spaces. We're intentionally trying to be the civic structure in a post-religious society that gives people ways to plug back into community, that give people ways to plug back into personal development, that give people ways to plug back into networking systems that do not require their conformity for participation. Through clubs, groups, and community activity. This helps rebuild belonging and social connection. Group involvement, be watching out for our small groups. Group involvement can offer low stakes pathways into friendship, identity, exploration, shared purpose, and belonging. Every single person who is on our staff at Bridge City, every single person who is on our staff at Bridge City has a friend that they would not have had. They've met somebody that they would not have known and have developed a friendship. You are welcome. That's the power of community. Dude, this is so good. I'm supposed to be talking about talent, y'all, but it just hit me. That's good. That's so good. You got one more person to call on. You have another person to think about. You have another person in your life who gives you a reason to smile. In a world where we're living in a loneliness epidemic, that means something. You were able to talk about your thoughts without being dismissed. You were able to sit in a room and be heard and be seen and be felt and be considered. That's power. That's not magic. It's belonging. The point is not that every group automatically gives back. The point is that when personal capacities are placed inside pro-social systems, they can return social connection, meaning, health, support, and belonging. Talents do not give back merely because they are used. A system can use my talent without building me. Let's be honest. A system can profit from my gift without developing the person that's carrying it. Let's be real. A system can benefit from our contribution while giving little back in recognition, support, alignment, growth, or opportunity. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. That is not reciprocity. That is extraction. That is extraction. Man, I love this. We were sitting in our house party this Wednesday. We have a house party once a month to just kind of welcome our new members and give them more information about the community and let them kind of talk. And then we got to see some of the talents that are available in the community. Yeah. Looking at you, Monica. We see the talent. And in my mind immediately goes, okay, so look, Monica, Ashley, Anna, they all are going to be working close together. You see, those are new relationships forming. It's the physics of community. Bob jumped in this morning in the studio and was able to share a win. It's like having somebody to share with that you know are going to be happy to hear it. Speaking of which, we have this initiative going on right now called Selfless Selfies. Well, that's the whole thing. If you have something going on, you're doing something nice, man, share it. Talents become reciprocal when they are placed inside systems where contribution, growth, recognition, support, alignment, and opportunity can circulate. And they got to be all of them. Like, you got to be contributing. But then, watch this. Here's a responsibility that a lot of people don't have. And you would never like be rejected from Bridge City for this. I'm just going to tell you that flat out. But you will probably be uncomfortable around some people in Bridge City. And that is, you got a responsibility to grow. Okay. Now you got to see, like, no, you'd never get rejected from Bridge City, but it's going to make you uncomfortable around some people, because with this type of environment that we're creating, curiosity creates growth. So like right now, I grow in a lot of areas in my life. I will be flat out honest with you and tell you, one of the areas that I've not grown a lot is my musicianship. If the camera would follow me, like if I had a live cameraman right now, I'd move over to my piano, and which some of you heard me play the keyboard before. I'd move over to my keys, and you'd be like, "No, Durante is pretty impressive," but my current playing represents where I stopped at, and I stopped pretty early because I'm more of a singer, more of a performer than I am a player. The playing for me is more just like John Legend, just to get y'all hyped up a little bit, and then I'm gonna get up from the keyboard, but it represents where I stopped at. Like, so I would not qualify to be a lead musician at Bridge City. I wouldn't qualify, because growing is going to be a thing. Like, growing is an expectation. Like for all of our leaders, I love every single one of you. And of course, we ain't had no problems. Thankfully, it's so early in the game. We're still in the honeymoon phase, but growing will be an expectation. And yeah, we're growing. I know this can't look like it looked last year. We can't still be operating like, no, we have to be growing, contributing, growing in our talents. But then I don't want to be contributing my talents and growing in my talents if ain't nobody recognizing it. Oh, I love the drums. Yeah, like, I'm gonna contribute. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna sing my little dance. I'm gonna lead my little small group. I'm gonna help y'all with a little activity, and I'm gonna be growing in my stuff. I promise I'm gonna be getting better and better and better. I'm gonna be looking around and say, how can I do this better than I did last time? But what I'm going to need, and we're talking about building with your talents, I'm gonna need recognition. I'm gonna need some support. I'm gonna need some alignment, and I'm gonna need some opportunity. That's how we create that circulation. So the question is not just, am I using my gift? The question is, where is my gift being planted? See, because like right now, even as we're building out our core team, and this is something that I want to let everybody know, like, where you start, you might move around, right? Because like right now, we have people in some roles, and honestly, they're holding that role for whatever else they want to do. Like, I'm gonna do this for right now, but I'm still trying to see how it unfolds. You ever like go to a buffet, and then you go to the buffet, you say, I got a lot of things out. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna get the chicken right now, and I'm gonna get, I wanted some crab legs, but it looked like they crowded with the crab legs. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get the chicken and some mashed potatoes and some peas right now. I'm making you hungry on purpose. I am. I'm just get that right now, but I'm gonna come back for them crab legs. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna come back. That's what some people do. So I don't want anybody to feel like you're gonna get stuck if you volunteer. I don't want anybody to feel like you're gonna get stuck if you take a role. This is you getting introduced and finding your fit. Get into the circulation. Soul food. I love y'all so much. So it's, where's my gift being planted? Because a gift only becomes reciprocal when the systems receiving it also helps develop the person carrying it. And that's like, I've been talking to Ashley lately about, that's where my shift is coming with Bridge City. Like a lot of the things I do for Bridge City now, I do because I have to. Okay? Because I have to. And when I mean have to, I mean there's nobody else to do them. I manage our email system, our website development system, our graphic designs, which some of that is shifting off of me now. But all of these things I've done because I had to show people what was possible, to show people what was available, to show people what the options were, you know? But now, as other people are coming in, like even Ashley, I'm gonna use Ashley as an example. A lot of things Ashley's doing right now, she's doing because she has to. It may not necessarily be her passion area. What she's passionate about is the success of this community. Oh, this is too good. This is too good. What she's passionate about is the success of this community. So I'll temporarily be this thing that I'm not as passionate about so that the community can have what it needs. I'm not passionate about graphic design. And I did it professionally for a while. I did it professionally for a while. I'm not passionate about it. I do it because I have to. YouTube needs thumbnails, and I have a Canva account. So I do it. One of the happiest days in my life is when someone else says, Durante, your work here is no longer required. Hey, Shaba jalapeno. I'd be so happy. No, I'm not passionate about making shorts. I don't know what's going to be important to you. No, I'm autistic for real. People come to me and they be like, dude, what you just said today was so amazing. Can you go over this part again? Hey, bro, I don't even remember what I said. Half of the time people be talking to me, they were like, you remember when you said this? And I'd be like, I'm pretty sure I did not say that. But no, it's because I'm passionate about this community happening. Zarniel is not passionate about hanging out in the back of the studio while I talk for an hour. That has to be like one of the biggest wastes of his time of the week, which is why I got to make sure this stuff is good. I got to make sure this is gold and fire when I'm coming. But they do it because they care about this community and what this community could possibly achieve in the world. So I'll do the unpopular part. I'll do the thing that I'm not as passionate about until we can get the other people there to do it. So then I just make the stuff that I really want to do that much stronger. Because I don't really want to be doing my part, but then my part isn't supported by the other parts that are needed. So we got Ashley coming in, who probably loves operations much more than she loves community. But if community is the need, I'll be that. No, Zarniel loves making real content, not just throwing slides up. But if throwing slides up so Durante doesn't have to always be trying to maintain the back while he's flowing on Sundays, if that's what's needed, I can do that. I don't want to get stuck there. I don't want to get stuck there. But I'm doing it because I love the community. Like we got several needs where people say, I don't know if that's my passion. Certain things, I don't even need them to be your passion right now. If the community is your passion, I need you to sign up to do something. And just knowing that I'm signing up temporarily, I'm just plugging my talent in. And the crazy thing is, you might just slip up and find an area in your life that you're good at that you didn't even know you were good at. Oh my goodness. Y'all, is this getting good? Is this getting good? Let's what do we owe to each other? We're doing this because we care about the larger community. That's why we show up. That's why we plug in. That's why we serve. That's why we support. Oh, I hope y'all can handle this. This is my last point, and I gotta go. I done held y'all too long already. Building with your giving. You think I wasn't gonna talk about giving? See, I don't believe in magic, but I do believe in money. Jalapeno habanero, hell yeah. No, building with your giving. I want to put that on a shirt now. I don't believe in magic, but I do believe in money. You know, they say it like this: the best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and the bees. I need money. That's what I want. It's one of my favorite songs. That's what I want. That's what I want. It like played in every black show about a music group, and there's a montage where they finally like getting it out of the mud. It's that song, building with your giving. How much of my financial commitments and contributions flow into systems that have me in mind? Money is participation. Where your money goes, your life is helping something become stronger. Okay? It's just like attention. Ain't that funny? Money is like the manifestation of your attention. Economists and social scientists often treat spending, donating, boycotting, and boycotting as forms of participation because they move resources toward or away from institutions. Okay? Building with your giving. I want to tell you, and this is not in my notes, it's just the habit of me being who I am. I want to tell you I want to give you a little unknown history about the bus boycott in Alabama in the 60s. Because the way we do boycotts today was forever shaped by that boycott, and not necessarily in what I would consider a positive way. Because there's a side to the bus boycott from Alabama that people don't know. What people know is that Rosa Parks was on the bus. She refused to give up her seat. She was then arrested and, assaulted by police officers. And then people said, basically, we're not riding those buses anymore until you change this policy. Okay. Now that's the part that it's not inaccurate, but it is incomplete. Okay. The incomplete part is we're going to boycott until was a small group. We're going to boycott, period, was how boycotts worked. The purpose of a boycott was not punitive. Like that's what we've done with boycotts today. We do punitive boycotts. Like you win your boycott, you absolutely won nothing. The purpose of this boycott was restorative. So, and I'll show you what I mean. The way they boycotted was not just by not using the bus system. It was by building their own car sharing system. We're talking about building what you're giving. And so instead of giving the bus company 25 cents, several times a day to get here and there, since they're not going to treat us like human beings anyway, we're going to stop using their system and give towards a system of our own with what we have. And they successfully did that. This is one of the things that Rosa Parks, she talks about this in her autobiography. It's one thing she was very upset about. Because when the boycott ended, the popular version of history you're used to, so did the independent transportation system that they created. He was like, oh, you don't need that anymore. No, that was the whole point. So now we recognize that this system did not honor us, did not value us, and we made the decision to stop giving towards it temporarily. This has been a history moment with Durante Lamar. Don't get me talking about Black Wall Street, the one in Tulsa. There was plenty. Don't get me talking about Rosewood. Man. So the question isn't, am I funding systems that match my values? The deeper question is, am I helping sustain the systems that I rely on, benefit from, learn through, heal inside, gather around, and the systems that I want to still exist tomorrow? You know? Am I funding things that drain my attention, my values, and my future? Or am I contributing to systems that build the kind of world, community, support, and opportunity that I want to live inside? If we want non-religious, humanist, people-centered systems to exist, they have to be materially supported. And quite frankly, and I'm just going to be honest, it seems like the majority of the money that comes through the secular community gets thrown right back and given to Uncle Sam. And see, I've seen that play. I've seen that strategy. That's how the NAACP keeps getting over on the Black community. I'm gonna leave it alone. Values without resource flow do not become institutions. Giving is not generosity. It's not just generosity. Giving is maintenance of the systems that maintain you. Giving toward what gives to you is how you help keep the return system alive. Don't just hope that it's going to be there. Be a part of making sure that it's always there. If something gives life back to you, your giving helps protect its capacity to keep giving. Extractive giving says, I'll benefit from this as long as somebody else keeps it alive. And it's easy to do. Man, I love being a part of this, but I'll love it as long as somebody else is keeping it alive. You know, that's an unknown fact about a lot of churches, even the mega churches. I know this idea that churches are stealing from poor people is very attractive in the secular community, but it's not factually accurate. At least not for the mega churches. The person who has 20 years in the game, let me tell you something. Most churches are sustained by less than 20% of the people who are attending them. You're welcome. We're just gonna get the facts. So we've already kind of trained ourselves to, I'll benefit from this as long as somebody else keeps it alive. You know, I got this weird habit because like my second or third job out of high school was working at Walmart. I did an overnight shift. And so a part of, the job was having to make sure, I think they called it facing. You had to make sure that all of the stuff was facing outward. And so I have a habit of when I go to my local grocery stores, if something is out of place, I'm gonna put it in the right place. I'm not telling you have to do this. I don't want to make this moralistic. I'm just showing you how I think about this. But I have a habit of when I see something out of place, if I can see where it goes, I'm gonna put it there. If the little candy bars are disorganized and slanted and shit, I'm gonna straighten them out. Okay, part of that is my autism. It is what it is. My neurospicy. Call it what it is. But I'm gonna fix it. But a part of that is when I worked at Walmart all the way back then, this was communicated to me as this is important. When you do this, see, Ashley, me and you can't go to the store together. When you do this is important. This communicates something about this store. This communicates something about, about the way people see us. It communicates things about our products. And so look at that. Zoning. That's what it was. Thank you. Well, we got a lot of Walmart folk up in here. But no, because if it matters to me, I'm not depending on other people to keep it alive. It's in front of me. I should be able to help keep it alive too. I want the Snicker to be in place when I come looking for the Snicker. You know? Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love our community, bro. Y'all got me like there's a real tear forming here. Like, dang it. I noticed this is gonna reverse age poorly. Okay, this is gonna reverse age poorly, but this was a powerful Me Too moment. You see what I mean by reverse age poorly? This reverse aged poorly, but you get it. This was a powerful Me Too moment. One of those times that community creates where somebody shares something very specific about themselves, and bam, someone said, "What?" And that feels good. Like, that shit is almost like a drug. And trust me, I like drugs. Okay, let's go. So reciprocal giving says, if this has helped build me, man, take it all the way back. Come on now. We all got zoning to do. Yes. Reciprocal giving says, if this is helping build me, I have to consider how I help sustain its capacity to keep building. If I want it to be here tomorrow, then I need to play a part in it being here tomorrow. This is about support capacity. A system can want to support people and still lack capacity. I think we're doing a good job right now of supporting people in the best ways that we can, but we are nowhere near what we will be able to do once we're fully supported. Like, we're at the beginning. Yeah, y'all don't understand. We're already outperforming legacy institutions with barely nothing. No, yeah, but we're doing it. We're making a way to do it. We're diligent. We're assertive about this. We're damn near aggressive about this. We're willing to do anything short of harm to reach people with this mission of connecting better, building better, and living better. No, we're out here doing the dang thing. This is about support capacity. If Bridge City gives you language, connection, clarity, belonging, structure, community, or opportunity, then giving toward Bridge City is not just helping the organization. It's helping sustain the system that is helping sustain you. The things that build us need to be built too. That felt like a poem. I'm gonna say that part again just because it felt like a poem. It is helping sustain the system that is helping sustain you. The things that build us need to be built too. So here's our final recap of the series. Life is not a vending machine. What you feed is what's going to grow. There is no free energy. And as of today, build what can give back. And even if you don't feel like you have a lot to offer, you can build from where you are with what you have. You can build with your attention, your voice, your learning, your talents, and your giving. Humans started building houses because shelter allowed us to survive better, protect our families, store resources, build community, and eventually move into more permanent ways of life. My highest hope for everybody that's connected with this community and that's watching this stream, whether now or later, is that reciprocity becomes a more permanent way of life for you. When I was crossing the path into humanism, I remember having this moment because so much of my work has been about my children. Much of the passion that you see from me in this work is for my children, based off of my own childhood, and wanting to make sure, which at this moment they're almost all grown now, wanted to make sure that I created a different reality for them, knowing that I have limited time to do so. As I said, they're almost all grown now. But it was sitting with a question of, what do I want? What has to happen in the world for my children to be okay? And like that's what it feels like to be a Black man in the South. That's the question, if you're even mildly conscious of the country or just even the global situation you live in. That's the question you sit with. What has to happen in this world for my children to be safe, for my children to be okay, for my children to be valued? Because I am not going to be here forever. But I have to wrestle with that. That's just me. I'm not saying, listen, you tell your story next Sunday. I'll be here to listen. But this is me. And that, my answer to that question became, what has to happen for my children to be safe? I got a very unreasonable answer for it. But that unreasonable answer is what drives me. Everybody else has to be safe. That's how I create. That's what has to happen to get a world where my children are safe. I need a world where everybody is safe. Period. In Bridge City, DLDD World Group, everything that I do is committed to that. It's trying to do everything I can with a little bit of time that I have to make this world a safer place for everybody, so that my kids and my grandkids can just grow up as humans. You know? In a deeper sense, the house is one of the first human technologies for saying the world is dangerous and unpredictable. So we're going to create a small, controlled space, community, where life can continue. Building homes represented a shift in humanity, from reacting to our environment to learning how to manage it. That's what community is. It's shifting from reacting to what's wrong with the world and committing to learn how to manage it. Being surprised about what's wrong is not a flex. Being upset with what's wrong is reasonable, but it's not a flex. At some point, you just got to look at the history books and say, this tracks. This seems to be about right. And then, of course, when you look and really pay attention to the amount of people that are on the sidelines, it makes perfect sense. I think we overglorify ourselves when we choose our villains. We choose our villains while excusing ourselves. We say our villains are doing too much while refusing to acknowledge that we've also done too little. I'm gonna say that one more again. We accuse of our villains of doing too much, while simultaneously being guilty of doing too little. And as I stated earlier, if I'm ever going to be a part of the solution, I first have to be willing to see myself as a part of the problem. A major motivation behind this shift was learning how life worked around us. We moved from constant reaction to environmental management. And so that's my invitation today. If you're looking for ways to survive better, to protect your families, to store up resources and build community, if you're ready to shift from reacting to managing, I invite you into collaborative cooperation with our community, with Bridge City. Come help us build homes that give back in protection, preservation, and permanence. That's all I have for you today. Let's go ahead and transition over to our next steps. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, keep rising.
Everyone, thank you for joining us for today's Sunday session. I hope some of these words resonated with you as well. And of course, what stuck out with you?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, did you have a moment today where something kind of got you thinking, got you that resonated? That is there anything that you've been mulling on that the conversation today brought up? Right? That's why we have these sessions, honestly. This is our kind of weekly touch point for us to start doing life together so that we can kind of be on the same page. We have people who are going with us we're through life, just generally.
Literally, it really is. Sessions like these really reinvigorate why we participate in this community, why we show up, because it's ever expanding, it's ever growing of your own personal responsibility, your own personal agency. Big topic that I love. So for everyone out there, if you've been thinking about joining Bridge City, now's the time. If this is not about gatekeeping, this is not about check your ideas at the door. It's bring yourself as you are and let's grow. Let's participate. Let's shape our lives together. So you belong here. If anything in this conversation touched you, resonated with you, if you're looking for a post-religious community, because post-religious doesn't have to mean we don't get together and grow and expand on our ideas. It literally means having these conversations. It means taking hold of our agency and showing each other what we owe to each other. So I want you to come join Bridge City, a place to live without shame. And I'm sorry, Jude, please. I was
just pointing out that Darnea has dropped the link in the chat. And do we have a QR code we can put on the screen somewhere?
Oh yeah, let's get that up there. And forgive me, you guys, I don't have chat up. I don't know how to format my screen just yet. I will work on it. So Jude, you got chat. If anyone says anything cool,
all right,
let's chat it out. But if you want a place to connect, build, and live better, get into Bridge City.
Yeah, and we have our Global Campus Pathway, our new member onboarding course to help you kind of get oriented, get an idea, especially if you've never used the Circle app before for anything else. We have the tap in and the new member onboarding course, which kind of walks you through first how to use the site, where to find everything, where you find our clubs and the commons and all of that cool stuff. And we have the and the new member onboarding goes over some of our values and the ideals that we're kind of working on building. Mission. We got if you're gonna any good build has a blueprint. Right?
Yes, I was literally just talking about this with Durante this week. We have a blueprint out, you guys. We have the raw materials. We are building. We are actively building. And I want to say, we have the courses that get you into the community that help set you up, and at least so you can start. But we also have the new member house party. It'll be at the end of this month that we all get together and we kind of go over not only our mission and values, but how to navigate the campus. And then we play games, which is awesome. Yes. Or we talk, depending on how we're feeling that day. And additionally, we've actually launched connection circles, which if you're like, hey, I really do want to join, but I don't necessarily want to talk to 14 people at once, that's fair. We can actually do a much smaller group and kind of take you through the campus. So get your new member onboarding courses going, and then come to a connection circle or the house party or both.
Ultimately, community is about relationships, and so we want to provide opportunities for you to build relationships. And having a whole bunch of mass events isn't always conducive to that. So we put a lot of effort into developing small, more close-knit spaces where people can really have a chance to get to know each other.
Yes. And of course, if you see anything in the campus and you're like, I think it'd be cool if we had this, reach out to any of us, because we love to make the member experience better and help you guys feel like you've found your community.
That's how I got involved, honestly, is I posted, I just kind of offhanded suggested in the comment, I could run a vocal workshop if people are interested. And next thing I know, Ashley's DMing me and saying, hey,
Jude, you opened it up now. I will say, I try not to come on too strong, but the moment someone has a good idea, I'm probably going to pounce on you and be like, get ready, because we're doing this. But it's been great, Jude. Not only have you stepped in and stepped up, really you've expanded, just kind of how Durante was talking on earlier. Like when I started introducing clubs, it was not in Durante's plan. It wasn't. But I love our clubs. Our clubs are thriving, and they give people a great landing point to just kind of trickle in and participate as they can if you're not ready to do a small talk or the trigger warning discussions yet. And when Jude came in, it was like, well, yeah, we have this music club, we have this vision. And Jude just bam, hit the ground running with the workshops, the songwriting sessions. You've done great things, Jude.
And we're doing some really fun collabs in Bridge City music. And it's one of the things is that we're hoping to eventually get it to a point where streaming some of these collaborations could become a source of income for Bridge City, which brings us to the second Tuesday of every month.
Oh,
which Giving Tuesdays.
I ruined that for Jude, but just so you guys know, that was the best transition I've ever seen. I'm so proud of you because in order to give support in the community, we need support. Now, you guys have heard us talk about inviting generosity, that we don't require tithings, that we don't shame people into funding the mission, the dream, the vision. But our community is sustained by our members, by you out there watching this right now. So when you're giving on our Giving Tuesdays, the second Tuesday of every month, it's about supporting the mission. It's about creating accessibility to the community, sustainability and stability, so we can keep these music events, we can keep these discussions, this growth moving. So your support helps keep our community in motion, supporting local events, as well as what our big focus is right now. Our next step as a community, moving into that nonprofit status. So that's been our really big push, and we'll see that again in June for those costs.
Yes. Because having those costs covered by the community helps us expand even more. And the more we expand, the more resources we have available, the more people pitching in, the more good we can do, the more of an impact that we can make. And speaking of impacts, we want to start establishing more local events, more local gatherings. We always encourage you to get a hold of us if you want help coordinating a watch party. If there's anybody in your area who are also interested, and that's a really kind of simple, easy way to start building a local community, is just have people over on Sunday to watch the live stream. Right. Or even just have local meetups, meet at a coffee shop,
real world
with a couple of people on a regular basis. And getting,
and I want to break in here really fast because I forget, I think it was Mark or Bob in the beginning, in the intro, they mentioned coffee hour and how you meet people at coffee hour typically. And I was like, it's so silly that we don't start some of these watch parties within the community, and then afterwards, after we break out of our Sunday sessions, have like a coffee hour in the lounge and just kind of talk about some of these things. Because you guys, legit, I have notes. Like, I need to talk to you guys about these things. So just so you know, mine's brewing on these things. And if you guys have any ideas for this front, let us know. But again, when we are inviting generosity and asking for your support, this isn't a manipulation. This is transparency. This is support that expands our mission, that builds the bridge. So if you can, we ask that you support generously or show up if you're unable to financially contribute.
And that's honestly, that's what it comes down to, is like, we would love to not have to ask for money, but that's not the world we live in. We still live under capitalism.
Granted, I will say that a barter system would make this harder. This would make it harder if we were under that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the money has a use. Capitalism and money are not synonymous, though.
True. Very true. Well, and so if you can't support financially, there's other ways to still support the community.
So many.
You could share the replay.
Share the replay. And comment. Boost us in the algorithm.
Yes.
Remember to like the stream on your way out.
Do the YouTube things, please. Yeah. And so I would say, we all know a bridge is only as effective as the place it reaches. You guys have heard us say this month after month. for years, probably at this point for some people. So if you guys know anyone that's looking for a post-religious community, is hoping to indulge in their own personal growth, to expand on their own personal agency, and would enjoy these conversations, share these conversations, share them to your social feeds. And again, just underlining it, if you haven't done the YouTube things, after you're done with the stream, be sure to leave a comment.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, so let's go ahead and start closing this up. Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining and sticking around, even in this closing section here. As a reminder for Reciprocity, going back to my notes, the ask was today, are you willing to take the risk to show up?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, how are you showing up? These are things to keep in mind. Participation over extraction, circulation over control, understanding contribution over entitlement, and know where you're at before you start criticizing where you've landed. One of my favorite quotes, and I forgive me, it came from a YouTuber, but a YouTuber who heard it somewhere else, is wherever you go, there you are. And it's such a silly, simple quote, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's really about examining your own agency in your situations and what you are bringing to the table. So life doesn't move through our desire alone. Effort is not magic. And it moves to you showing up and participating the way you want to interact with this world. And side note, because I can't stop side noting this morning, I didn't think I would be. I was like, reciprocity. When everyone chose that on the poll, I was like, I don't want this series. I'm good. But legit,
It's a good subject. It's a good subject. I've always thought the idea of reciprocity is one that's not as well understood as people think they understand it.
Agreed.
And it's definitely a subject worth talking about, I think, especially in regards to community building, right? Because we're building community here, and reciprocity is something that makes communities self-sustaining instead of having to constantly be managed.
Now you're making me feel like I got to switch around the trigger warning topics. We'll have a discussion on campus about this, because
we will.
We have one. So I will say again, visitors, thank you. First time you're a visitor, second time you're a guest, third time you're as good as family. So
and to our family, right? Remember, again, don't let the conversation end here. We have the comments. You can comment here, share the replay. We have the Commons on Bridge City
on
campus. We have all of the clubs.
The lounge.
We have a bunch of different. We have the member lounge for more casual conversations. We also have the resource board. If you want to suggest a movie for a future movie night, that's on the resource board, along with many other things, including
resources, Connections Hub. Really, go check out the resource board if you haven't yet. It has a lot of great information about Bridge City, external communities, and we'll actually be this month launching a Bridge City library where we showcase some content creators from YouTube that our community respects and wants to engage with.
I am down for that. Yeah, and if you want to start contributing, if you are still kind of new and getting the feel of place, we have the teams page where you can formally volunteer, or you can do what I did and just put your hand up in a club somewhere and say, "Hey, can I do this?" Someone will send you to Ashley. And
I will pounce on you, and we will do things.
Yes, it's great. There's so many ways to get involved, and we have so much stuff going on, so many new things. If there's something on Bridge City that you want to see and it's not there yet, and you have the time and energy to do it, like
to show up. Yeah,
honestly, it's fantastic, because we've got a wonderful community that's just growing, and I'm really excited to see where we're going with all of this.
And I feel like this is how you see our values in motion. When we say forward thinking, we talk about having these conversations, kicking off Pride Month with a movie that is probably going to cause some tears in the audience. We want to expand our thinking and grow as people, because we're people-centric. Everything we're doing within the community is about connecting authentically, genuinely, about showing up for each other. And of course, life affirming. It's not about agreeing a one-to-one. It's not about judging the next person over, personality policing and how you're supposed to do it. It's about celebrating each of us as we are.
Yeah. And yeah, celebrating each of us as we are and what each of us are able to contribute, right? We want to be forward thinking enough to, anticipate what needs to be done, what the community is going
expand
to
the
be.
conversation,
Yeah, expand the conversation. We want to be people centric. We want to build those relationships so that we know who needs what, right? If you have friends, they're more likely to notice when you're in a bad place, right?
Exactly. And I think we even see that in the community. I'll tell you, if I don't hear from you in like a month and you're pretty active, I will be reaching out. Apparently, I'm a pouncer. I just got to accept that about myself. That's where we're at right now.
We love you for it. I mean, Bridge City wouldn't be what it is today without you.
Well, without all of us, honestly, I will never stop being amazed by how many people show up in the community and take a piece of it and run. And it's been beautiful to watch. So again,
and life affirming, right?
And life
affirming, show up as you are. We are not here to tell you to be something specific or different, or we want you to show up and let us know what you need to be the best version of yourself.
And if you really want to put raisins in the potato salad, fine. Just do it. Well, so I will say again, everyone, thank you for joining us today. And until next time, keep rising and be the bridge.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When did we stop saying brother? When did we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promised, but you gotta take the deal.
I don't need anyone, yeah, I get going and I get done. My blood runs through these roots and my daddy gave me these boots, so I'll be walking my own way. I got no need to hear no praise.
What do we hold to each other? What do we hold to ourselves? When did we stop saying brother? When did we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promised, but you gotta take the deal.
I live wild and I live free. The only one I trust is me. Can't rely on rain or ranger, so everyone can stay a stranger. But dysentery's got me. I can barely stand. I guess I'll reach to meet the offered hand.
Rock the beat.
They say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I've been trying to do just that. I remember the winters I walked around barefoot. Tell me where you get boots at. I've been on my own as long as I've known, and it's scary as red rum. Walking a solo path, even though a lone wolf is likely a dead one. The strength of the wolf is the pack, and the pack is the power of wolves. But I'm wondering how to trust when my last bunch was made of wool. I want a seat at the table. It's a risk, but I'm willing to accept the deal. Now instead of burning, I gotta build bridges stronger than steel.
What do we hold to each other? What do we hold to ourselves? When do we stop saying brother? When do we stop meaning well? It ain't much, but it's honest. Connection built on what's real. Reciprocity promise, but you gotta take deep.
Hands like leather, a smile like gold, took me in out of the cold. Had so little but shared a meal, got me thinking how I feel. We ridicule the ones who give and live with less to help us survive, and we all thrive when we pay those debts.